and welcome to Mark No Horsemanship. Here we are with our third and final weanling for the year. We just weaned her 2 days ago. She is 5 months old, and her barn name is Goldie. And she's by our stallion, our Otto bred stallion, which is LB, what is it, Bird?
LB Otto Cream.
LB Otto Cream. And this filly's dam is, she's a King Fritz bred mare that goes back to, of course, King and Hancock. She has King, is it King checks?
I think it's King Hancock checks on
her,
if she were to be registered.
If she were to be registered. She's not registered, but could have been, the dam. So, which means this one will not be able to be registered this year. We're thinking of registering her dam, and so if we do, and you were to purchase this filly, which it's what we're offering her, is up for purchase, and I think we're going to be asking $3,500 for her. Like I said, she's just a nice little filly. She's probably put together, I ain't gonna say better, but just as good or a touch better than the other two weanlings that we have. I really like her. She's fairly friendly. I don't really trust her just yet because she's a little bit bold. She's one of those that might just walk by you and give you a little test of your manhood here to see if you'd run or not. But I don't want to get kicked today, so. Anyway, so we're going to work with her. She's been touched a little bit, not much. She was in the barn when she was first born for not as long as the other two. The other two we kept up for a month or so, and we was in the stall and out of the stall, and we turned them out, and you know, they were around us more, but she wasn't around us as much as the other two. We kind of needed the barn space, so we chunked her out a little earlier than the other two. But she's fresh. She's never been haltered. I just did a video on our other two being led outside for the first time and handling their hooves and picking up their hooves and their legs, and so I hope you'll see that. But if you don't, then try to find it because it'll be on here somewhere. And so she's fresh though. Like I said, we've never just weaned her 2 days ago. She was a month behind these other two on foaling on her birthday. So that's why she's wasn't started with the other two. But we're going to work with her today, and the way I approach these things is very nonchalantly. I do have my halter here. I'm not going to guarantee I'll get it on her today, but I am going to present it to her, touch her with it, touch her first off, and just see where we get. So here we go. The way I like to do it is I just like to walk up and present myself to these weanlings and just let them smell me, and she's done this a million times, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with doing it again. And I kind of like to walk away just so I don't make them feel like they're threatened. She's a little bolder than the other two, you know, for her not to be messed with as much as the other two. She's a little bit bold. I'm not going to promise you at this point in time I'm comfortable with that boldness, because you know these little things can take your shirt pockets off with them front hooves in just a moment. So I've had it happen. So right there, as I go to approach her neck, she don't like that very much, so I'm not going to push her. I'm not going to get her too stirred up today. She's just winged, and you know, she's still a little bit distraught over her mama not being with her. So I'm just going to present myself in a nice way. If I can get a rope around her neck or whatever, I will. But as you see her starting to climb up my arm and nibble and stuff, that's not always a good thing. You know, a lot of people get fooled by that. And they might just be working their way up and getting their confidence up to come up on that rear end and sort of paw you. I've had it happen. You know, so I don't mind the bump when they start kind of doing what she was just doing. That's a posture that I don't care for. I'm not saying she's going to be a bad horse, but that's a posture that I don't care for. And then she's going to get her head hung in this thing here. I'll let her get her head out of it. It's got a crack in it. I'm just going to take it out while I'm messing with her, and that way it won't be no vet bills today. But And so anyway, so that's a posture that I don't care for. I don't like how she wants to kind of rudely put her hip to you, and you see that little head shake there. That tells me she's pretty confident in who she is. But that's when I don't mind to come in here and tell her, hey, I'm not mad at you, but don't put your butt to me. Don't crowd me. She needs to go ahead and be taught this, even though I don't have a halter on her. But like I say, I believe she's going to be a little bit more, I ain't going to say mean, but I think she's going to be a little bit more confident in who she is and what she is than the other two. The other two were pretty gentle, and she's going to be too. But her dam is a little bit, I ain't going to say hard to mess with, but her dam, it can be difficult at times. Don't let that, hinder you buying her. Most people don't say anything negative when they're trying to sell something. But, and I'm not necessarily saying anything negative, I'm just being honest. That's one thing I stand beside, is my integrity and my honesty in doing this. So I'm not going to tell you she's an angel if she's not. And I don't know if she is or not, but we're gonna find out. Now right here, I like that how she wanted to follow me, but she put her butt to me. So I'm just gonna let her know that I'm leader right there, and that she needs to not put her butt to me like that and be rude. Now I'm gonna walk back up to her again and just see if I can start asking her to let me stroke her neck a little bit. Right here, I'm just gonna let her smell. I'm simply gonna walk away. I'd like her to follow me just like that. Now I'd like her to follow me no matter where I'm at. So if I get back here and she, right here, her eyes follow me, I like to get her hip to follow me and her to face up here just a little bit. Right there, that's good. And to let her know, look, I don't look at two butts, cheeks. I want to look at two eyes. Right here, we'll kind of get her to look at me right here a little bit. She's licking and chewing. She's trying to figure this thing out. She's very easily distracted. Like my girls are out here walking around and things, and I don't mind that, but right now her attention level is very minimal. A little bit of ADD going on here. So right here, I'm going to tip that butt away and say, hey, where I go, your eyes need to go. And once she gets this little game, if you will, a little bit better at it, like right here, we're going to, right here, just want her to look at me right there. I'll walk off and see if she'll start keeping that, walk off right here, see if she'll keep that eye to me. Keep that eye to me. I just want her to follow me right there. That's good. Can't do a lot with these weanlings, but you can do some, and a little bit with them. I think I'm just going to go ahead here in a minute and start flipping my rope towards her. I do that a lot with these things. At the beginning, it looks like it scares them, but they've got to get used to things being around them. Right. She's not really acknowledging me there. She acknowledged me just a little bit. So she's kind of knows now that I don't really care for her being as bold and brashy as she can be sometimes. And I think she's understanding that I'm someone that she don't need to fear, but definitely needs to pay attention to. So the way I kind of want to start getting my hands on these weanlings, it's different than most folk, and that's okay. We all do things different. Nothing wrong with that. Used to be, when I first started doing them, we'd corner them up. Two strong people would corner them up and put your arm under their chin or under their neck, their throat latch, and then jack their tail up. And that is a pretty neat way of handling foals that's never been handled, because you kind of hinder them. And I will still do that if it's necessary. But what I've learned to do is to start desensitizing around them first with a rope. And I always say, before you throw it across their back, can you simply throw it at their feet? So I'll just do this several times and get her used to the sight of this rope being tossed at her, just like that. And it kind of gives me an idea if she's going to be a kicker, a striker, on something that may startle her. How does she react to it? So far, she acts like she wants to be interested in it and follow it, which is a good thing. Getting a little worried right there. I'm not worried about it. But now that we got her a little bit desensitized to it being tossed at her, let's see if we can get her a little bit what she's like if we just toss it over her. So don't let that bother you right there. It don't bother me. A lot of people say, oh, you're scaring that poor filly to pieces. Nah, she'll get used to it in a minute. We can't wear our hearts on her sleeve when it comes to these weanlings too much. I think it's better than sugar cubes and cookies. I think it's better than bribing them. I don't bribe my children, so why would I bribe these young horses? Right there's a sign, a little bit of nervousness. I'll definitely keep that in mind, and I won't push her past her max. But I don't mind her getting a little bit nervous. I mean, you know, she's got to start handling life. This is where it starts. This is foundation. So right here, I'll just go back to her feet again, since that sort of bothered her. And my goal is just to get it on her and let her stand with it and just see how she reacts to it. Like right there, that was a little bit better. She's a little bit bothered by it. You got to be careful that they don't trample you over. But once she sees that, the main thing is with a horse, you got to remember, once they figure out there's no pain being inflicted to them at all, they're usually okay with something. But if they feel any kind of discomfort, I mean, look at this. This rope is soft, it's slick, it slides right off of them. And once, whether it be a weanling, an older horse, or whatever, once the horse figures out there's no pain being inflicted, they're usually okay with the situation. It's just you having enough knowledge, and I encourage everyone to figure out how to go to someone like myself, or someone that has worked with a lot of weanlings. I was just sharing with my wife memories the other day of me working on a breeding farm for 12 years, and how many babies that foals that we weaned and started over there, you know, and not bragging, and I'm sure there's people that's done more, and it ain't about that. I'm not trying to say I've done more than anybody, but I've done quite a few weanlings in my day, a couple of 100 to 300, I would imagine. So you know, once you do that many of something, you kind of start figuring there a little bit of, you get savvy of it. That's the word I'm looking for. You just get knowledge of it, and especially if it's been your heart's desire to be the best at it that you possibly could, and that's been my heart's desire my whole life. So right here, we're just going to flip that again. Don't mind her doing that. I mean, here in a minute she'll get to where, hey, that's just another thing. But the thing is, it's got to be over and over. I kind of started her off slow right there, and right here now, when she calms to that, like right there, she lowered her head, I'll take it off. You're feisty little rascal, but that's okay. I've seen them a whole lot feistier. I've had them, you know, a whole lot feistier. I won't go into the horror stories right now, but I've had some foals that would just soon, and most of the time it was out of fear. They just soon eat your lunch as look at you. So right here, we're just going to go back again, toss that across her knee. She's getting a little bit better about it. So when she gets better about it, a whole lot better about it, I may quit there today, and we'll just call it by ear here, play it by ear, and see what she will allow me to do. See, that's a whole lot better. You might say, well, Mark, what's the purpose of this? Well, she needs to smell it. She needs to touch it. She needs to chew on it. Right now she's thinking, I'll chew this thing to pieces. And she just needs to know. Now I'm going to flip it up there on her neck, flip it up there on her neck like that. She just needs these. These are my tools. This is, watch your head there, young lady. These are my tools. This is the things that she's going to be presented with the rest of her life. So she's got to get to know them. She's got to be familiar with them. And right here, we're going to let her smell that on the ground. Oh, I like that, the way it runs across her head. That's pretty nice. And see, that's between her and that rope. And if it comes off, it's fine. That's fine too. She says, hey, I think I'll just lead myself around. So right there, it's pretty cool. I think she's going to be all right here in just a second. I'll let her walk by me just so she don't feel trapped. I'd rather have her back yonder just because it's a little bit better, and the door's right there for me. I can get out. But I don't think she's that bad. We're just going to push her back in that corner again and kind of go back to work here a little bit on her. And she wants to be with this other foal right here beside us. She feels a little bit more comfortable because why? Because she's a, that's fun, wasn't it? Because she is a herd animal. So we'll get her used to this. We're going to block her right here and say, hey, no, you just need to be a big girl. Now, what I might do, since she is so, and I really didn't think this filly was, I thought she would be the easiest one, and this is not complicated. It's just going to take time. I'm in no hurry. I don't want to blow her mind. Definitely don't want to make her mean. So we're just going to work with her right here and try to find a good place to quit on a good note. She's getting a little bit worried. I don't want to stress her out too much. So I think what I'll do is go back to presenting her with me just for a moment and see if she wants to maybe smell my hand and get her a little bit better about right here. She wants to smell, maybe. Just to let her know I'm not an enemy. See, I like that, how she came back, you know. I don't mean she followed me, but her mind came back to where she was before I started flipping the rope. That's the things that I look for. She said, I'm trying to find a good hole to bury you in. That's what she's doing. But no, she's going to be all right. Some of them are just a little feistier than others. I don't think it would be a good thing to come in here and we don't want to do that now. I don't think it would be a good thing to come in here and just manhandle her. I'm going to walk off and let her, I don't want to get her in that box. There we go, in that hay box. But I don't think it would be a good idea just to come in here and manhandle her and get her, Bird. Thank you. I couldn't get out, but we just want to move her back to that corner now. And and manhandle her into just making her accept this. You can tell she's getting a little nervous. So I'm going to let her be with another sniff today. I'm not in a hurry. And let her sniff and let her know that humans aren't a bad thing. And we'll just pick up again tomorrow or the next day and just get her. I'm not going to, but she does need to know that she can't just manhandle and go where she wants to. But I am not going to fall for, so before you think about sending me the comments, I don't mean to be rude or nasty, but no, I do not believe in treat training. I don't believe in bribery. And before you comment and say, why don't you give her a little bit of sweet feed in your hand or something like that, don't believe in it, not going to do it, and it's not stubbornness. That is, the horseman inside me knows that it don't work. So,
for those who say, well, you could have got the halter on her when she was 2 days old, and I mean, there's people out there that believe that that's the easier way.
And yes, my wife is right. There are people out there that do that. I personally, I don't like to, because I think we can handle these things too much. And I've received colts in my program as 2 and 3 year olds that had been handled in that fashion, and it makes my jobs very, very hard. They won't even move away from you. Like if you present yourself to them with my direct and drive method of just, you know, moving them away from you to teach them to start working around the pen. Some of them I've sat and just flogged their rear ends before with the end of a rope, and they just stand there. So it deadens them so much that humans mean nothing to them. So I personally think it makes a better colt, a better horse for the future if you minimize the handling of these weanlings. Now, some may say, well, what do you do in an emergency? There's things you can do in an emergency. Luckily, they're still with their mama, so they'll follow their mama anywhere. So if you can get them in a stall and get some experienced people that don't mind to get roused about a little bit, and you know, you can corner these things up. Me and my wife has done it with these weanlings that we don't. You can use mama. You can put them in a corner with mama using them as a block, and one can be on the mama's head and the other person can be at the mama's rear, and you can sit and work with these foals, and we've wormed them like that. We've gave them well, I ain't gonna say we've gave them a shot because we've never had to do that, but we've wormed them like that, and we've just rubbed on them like that. So there are ways that you can handle them and get your hands on them without them being halter broke. It's just the way that I choose to do it. And if you're have a breeding program and you're not physically able to do it in a little bit more of the physical way that you see me doing, I can understand that. But maybe even let someone else do it. You know, I do offer that as well. I don't know if there's anybody out there. It's weaning time of the year. It should be. It is for us. So I'm sure there's some other people with foals. I do offer that as well. I don't have room at the moment, but I do offer for you to bring your mare and your foal to me, and we take the mare away from the foal. Well, that day it'll be a weanling, starting to be a weanling, and you take your mare home, and I take care of that weaning process, handling, haltering, and everything. So that's just something else I offer in my program. Again, I don't have room right now, but I will soon. So if you got a foal that's going to be weaned here in the next month or two, just keep that in mind. So we're going to quit on that and let her stand. She's standing calm. I'm not going to push her today. I'm in no hurry. She got this rope flipped across her. I'll keep you in good, keep you up to date on her progress. And I really appreciate you watching. God bless. Hello everyone. Here we are at Mark Knoll Horsemanship today, and we got little Goldie here. We just winged Goldie, and I did a video of her the other day. I'm with my wife here. I got to keep her away from my phone here. She's awful curious, and I'm by myself, so I got to be careful here. But with my phone, it's too daggum expensive to replace. But anyway, we did a video that you will see by the time you see this one. That one will be posted, and not really trying to get a halter on her, but just trying to get close to her. And today I come in here to mess with her, and she was just as good as gold, and maybe that's why we had the hunch to call her Goldie. But anyway, she's getting a little quieter. Not going to say she wouldn't turn around and give you a little Hail Mary here kick, but I got a halter on her a while ago, and I thought it was pretty neat, and I wanted to show y'all if I can get her in a better position for y'all to see. Wind's blowing. You might hear a little wind today. Now she's going to go back here, and hopefully y'all be able to see how I approach these winglands. I like to be able to approach and retreat. Use a little bit of approach and retreat. Just going to rub her right here and walk away. And by doing that, hopefully, I'm going to use the phone as my eyes today, because you may think I'm looking at you, but I'm going to be looking at that phone so I can see. We'll shut this door here so she can't get out. I'm going to be using this phone today to look to see if she's following me and what her expression is. So right here, I think I'll just present the halter to her again. I hope you can see. I'll try to step her over just a little bit. Right there. And she's just really a little bit too today. But I'm going to take advantage of it. Now look at there. That's the second time. First time was just a while ago that she's had a halter on. And I think that's exceptional. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to soak in that just a moment. I'm not going to tie it on and start pulling and teaching her anything just yet. I'm just going to take my time with her. I'm in no hurry. Like I said, we just winged her about a week ago, and she's learning to cope without mama. And she was already eating grain and stuff with her mama when we winged her. So right there, I'm just going to approach and retreat to let her know that she's not trapped. She's nowhere near being made to do this, being forced to do it. Now I winged her a little bit earlier than I like to, and I usually try to wait as close as I can to 5.5 to 6 months old before I wean them. We didn't really get in a hurry with her as far as, we didn't get in a hurry with her, but we wanted to go ahead and get it done because we needed to get it done. So when she comes over here and wants to nibble and stuff, that is just a colt thing to do, a young horse thing to do. But I'll go ahead and divert her attention to something else. Say, okay, I don't mind you being next to me, but you're not just going to come over here and use me as a chew toy. I'm gonna halter you, and by doing that, maybe she'll learn. Well, I guess I can't chew on these people, on these human beings, because right now I'm directing her attention to something else, and she'll just get that out of her head real quick, that I'm not a chew toy. So right there, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to approach and retreat. I'm just going to step over here. I'm going to use the phone here I'm going to watch her in my rear view mirror here, so to speak. And right there, she wants to get really interested in me, and that's fine with me. I kind of like that. So we're just going to keep going with Goldie here for a few minutes, and I may end up putting a little bit of pressure or tying this on. The only thing I tell people is when you tie it on, be confident in your skills. Don't be lacking in your skills, because they can darn sure get in a pickle. So I'm just going to put this halter back on her again. And I think just for fun, so she can feel that thing sliding through right there, I'm gonna go ahead and tie it on, and probably just go ahead and do that, and then take it right back off, just so she gets used to that knot being tied right there on the side. So then I'm just gonna walk away. Again, I'm gonna use this phone as my rear view mirror here. I just want to watch what she does. I like it that she's interested and she wants to be with me the whole time. Goldie, we're pretty positive is going to be a chocolate palomino. Goldie is the only foal that we have that's not registered. She is full pedigree. Her mama, her dam is full pedigree. She is King Fritz bred, and there's proof of that. She can be registered. Her mama, the dam can, but she just never was. So, with that being said, you know, she's going to be sold unregistered. The filly is, and we're very seriously thinking on if you don't, how can I say this? You may see this video before you see the other one that I'm getting ready to tell you about, but we're highly considering selling her and her mama. And her mama's bred back to our stallion. It'll be a full brother or sister to this filly right here. Whatever's in her mama right now will be full brother or sister to her. So we're thinking about selling them as like a trio package. You know, you get the mare. Well, I went a little fast right there. That's okay. You'll get the mare that's bred back to our stallion, and this little filly with it. So as a trio package. And so if you're interested in that, then just give us a call at 304-320-4044. That's my personal cell phone number, and you can reach me on that. I always tell people you can reach me as long as I'm not doing another video or riding a horse. So most of the time I will try to answer. So I can't afford not to. I need all the business I can get. So, but anyway, that's a pretty good little deal with her today. I just wanted this to be kind of a short and sweet little deal, and we'll show you more on getting her haltered some more and actually giving the pressure and learning how to lead. And I'll do that when my wife can be with me, and that way to be a little bit better of a video. The way this is looking in here now, it looks like it's Barnes a tunnel. It's just because she can't zoom in and zoom out because she's not here. So she's actually cleaning house today. I like a clean house, and so does she, so I don't have a problem with that. But anyway, that's what we're doing. So I'll give you more info and more videos on Goldie here as the time goes on. But we thank you for watching, and God bless you.